Joshua chapter 11. Now when Jabin king of Hazor heard about it, he sent word to Jobab king of Madon, to the king of Shimron, to the king of Achshaph, and to the kings in the north, in the hill country, in the Arabah, south of Chinnaroth, in the lowland, and in the regions of Dor to the west, the Canaanites in the east and west, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites in the hill country, and the Hivites at the foot of Hermon in the land of Mizpah. So they came out, they and all their armies with them, a multitude with as many people as the sand on the seashore, with very many horses and chariots. All these kings joined forces, came and camped together at the waters of Merom to fight with Israel. But Adonai said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them, for tomorrow at this time I will give all of them slain before Israel. You are to hamstring their horses and burn their chariots with fire." So Joshua and all the people of war with him attacked them suddenly at the waters of Merom and fell upon them. Then Adonai gave them into the hand of Israel. So they defeated them and chased them as far as Great Sidon and Misrephoth Maim and up to the valley of Mizpeh eastward. They struck them down until they left them no survivors. Joshua did to them as Adonai had instructed him. He hamstrung their horses and burnt their chariots with fire. At that time Joshua turned back and captured Hazor and struck its king with the sword, because Hazor had formerly been the head of all those kingdoms. They struck down every single soul in it with the edge of the sword, putting them to the ban. There was none left that breathed after he burned Hazor with fire. Thus Joshua captured all the cities of those kings and all their kings, and he struck them with the edge of the sword, putting them to the ban, just as Moshe the servant of Adonai had commanded. Just as for the cities that stood on their mounts, Israel did not burn any of them, except Hazor alone, which Joshua did burn. All the spoil of these cities and the cattle of Bnei Israel took as their plunder, but they struck down every person with the edge of the sword until they had destroyed them, not sparing anyone who breathed. Just as Adonai had commanded Moshe his servant, so Moshe commanded Joshua, and so did Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all that Adonai had commanded Moses. So Joshua captured all this land, the hill country, the Negev, all the land of Goshen, the lowland, and the Arabah, the hill country of Israel and its lowland, from the Mount Halak that ascends to Seir, all the way of Baal Gad, in the valley of Lebanon, at the foot of the Mount Hermon. He captured all their kings, struck them down, and put them to death. For a long time Joshua made war with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with Bnei Israel except the Hivites who inhabited Gibeon. All the rest they took in battle. For it was of Adonai to harden their hearts to encounter Israel in battle, that they might be put to the ban, that they might receive no mercy, no order to destroy them, as Adonai had commanded Moshe. At that time Joshua went and cut off the Anakim from the hill country, from Hebron, Debir, Anab, and from the entire hill country of Judah, and from the entire hill country of Israel. Joshua put a ban on them with their cities. There were none of the Anakim left in the land of Bnei Israel, except some were left in Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. So Moshe captured the whole country according to all that Adonai had spoken to Moshe, and Joshua gave it for an inheritance to Israel according to their divisions by their tribes. Then the land had rest from war. Chapter 12. Now these are the kings of the land whom Bnei Israel defeated and possessed their land beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise, from the valley of the Arnon to Mount Hermon and all the Arabah eastward. King Sihon of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon and ruled from Aroer which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon and the middle of the valley, and half Gilead, even up to the Jabbok river, the border of the children of Ammon, and the Arba up to the sea of Chinneroth eastward, and as far as the sea of Araba, the salt sea eastward, the way to Beth Yeshimoth, and on the south at the foot of the slopes of Pisgah. Also the territory of King Og of Bashan, one of the remnants of Rephaim, who lived at Ashtaroth and at Edrei, they ruled over Mount Hermon and Salcah and all Bashan, as far as the border of Geshurites and the Maacathites, and half of Gilead, as far as the border of King Shihon and Heshbon. Moshe, the servant of Adonai, and Bnei Israel defeated them. Then Moshe, the servant of Adonai, gave it as a possession to the Reubenites, Gadites, and half-tribe of Manasseh. Now these are the kings of the land whom Joshua and Bnei Israel defeated beyond the Jordan, westward from Baal-gad in the valley of Lebanon to Mount Halak that goes up to Seir. Joshua gave it to the tribes of Israel for a possession according to their division in the hill country, in the lowland, in the Arabah, on the slopes, in the wilderness, and in the Negev, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. One king of Jericho, one king of Ai, which was near Bethel, one king of Jerusalem, one king of Hebron, one king of Jarmuth, one king of Lachish, one king of Eglon, one king of Gezer, one king of Debir, one king of Geder, one king of Hormah, one king of Arad, one king of Libnah, one king of Adulam, one king of Makkedah, one king of Bethel, one king of Tappuah, one king of Hefer, one king of Aphek, one king of Sharon, one king of Madon, one king of Hazor, one king of Shimron Meron, one king of Achshaph, one king of Taanach, one king of Megiddo, one king of Kadesh, one king of Jokneam in Carmel, one king of Dor in the region of Dor, one king of Goim in the Gilgal, one king of Tirzah, for a total of 31 kings. Chapter 13. Now Joshua was old and advanced in years when Adonai said to him, "You are old and getting on in your years, yet very much of the land is still left to possess. This is the land still left, all the regions of the Philistines, and all the Geshurites, from the Shihor, which is near Egypt, to the territory of Ekron, northward counted as Canaanite, the 5 Philistine lords of Gaza, Ashdod, Eshkelon, Gath, and Ekron, also the Avim in the south, all the land of the Canaanites, from Meara of the Sidonians to Aphek, as far as the border of the Amorites, the land of the Gebalites, and all Lebanon toward the sunrise, from Baal-gad at the foot of Mount Hermon to the entrance of Hamath, all the inhabitants of the hill country, from Lebanon to Misrephoth-maim, all the Sidonians. I myself will drive them out from before Bnei Israel. Only allot it to Israel for an inheritance, as I have commanded you. So now divide this land as an inheritance for the 9 tribes and the half-tribe of Manasseh. With the half-tribe, the Reubenites and the Gadites received their inheritance, which Moshe gave them beyond the Jordan eastward, just as Moshe, the servant of Adonai, gave them, from Aroer, that is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the valley, all the flat land from Medeba to Dibon, and all the cities of King Sihon of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, up to the border of the children of Ammon, and Gilead, and the territory of Geshurites and Maacathites, and all the Mount Hermon, and all Bashan up to Salcah, all the kingdom of Og in Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth and in Edrei. He was left of the remnant of the Rephaim, for Moshe defeated them and drove them out. Nevertheless, Bnei Israel did not drive out the Geshurites or the Maacathites, but Geshur and Maacath lived among Israel to this day. Only to the tribe of Levi he gave no inheritance. The fire offerings of Adonai, God of Israel, are his inheritance, as he spoke to him. To the tribe of children of Reuben, according to their clans, Moses gave as their territory from Aroer on the edge of the Aron's valley, along with the city of the middle valley, and all the tableland up to Mebedah, Heshbon and all its towns on the tableland, Dibon, Bamoth Baal, Beth Baal Meon, Jahaz, Kedemoth, Mephaath, Kiriathaim, Sibma, and Zereth Shahar, on the hill of the valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, the Beth Jeshimoth, all the towns of the tableland, and the entire king of King Sihon of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon. Moshe defeated him with the chiefs of Midian, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, the princes of Sihon, who were living in the land, and Balaam, son of Beor, the diviner, whom Bnei Israel killed with the sword among the rest of their slain. As for the border of the children of Reuben, the Jordan was their border. This was the inheritance of the children of Reuben, according to their clans, the towns of their villages, to the tribe of Gad. Moshe gave the children of Gad, according to their clans, as their territory, Jazer, the towns of Gilead, half of the land of the children of Ammon, up to Arah, which is near Abba, from Heshbon to Ramath, Mitzpeh, and Bethonim, and from the Mahanim to the border of Libdir. In the valley, Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon. That is the rest of the kingdom of King Sihon of Heshbon, with the Jordan as its border to the lowest part of the sea of Chinneroth, beyond the Jordan eastward. This is the inheritance of the children of God according to their clans, to the towns and their villages. To the half-tribe of Manasseh, Moshe also gave inheritance. For the half-tribe of the children of Manasseh according to their clans, their territory was from Mahanaim, all of Bashan, the entire kingdom of King Og of Bashan, and all the 10 villages of Jair, which are in Bashan, 60 towns, also half of Gilead, with Ashtaroth and Edrei, the cities of the kingdom of Og in Bashan, were for the children of Machir, son of Manasseh, for the half of the children of Machir according to their clans. These are the inheritances that Moshe apportioned in the plains of Moab, across the Jordan to the east of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi, Moshe gave no inheritance. Adonai, God of Israel, is their inheritance, as he had spoken to them. Now these are the portions that Bnei Israel possessed in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the Kohen and Joshua son of Nun and the heads of the ancestral houses of the tribes of Bnei Israel apportioned to them. Their inheritance was by the lot, as Adonai had commanded by Moshe's hand, for the 9 tribes and half-tribe. For Moshe had given the inheritance of the 2 tribes and the half-tribe across the Jordan, but he gave no inheritance to the Levites among them. For the children of Joseph became 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. They gave no portion to the Levites in the land, except towns to live in, with their pasture lands around them for their livestock, for their cattle, as Adonai had commanded Moshe. So Bnei Israel did, and apportioned the land. Then the children of Judah approached Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, said to him, "You know the word that Adonai had spoken to Moshe, the man of God, at Kadesh Barnea. It's concerning me and you. I was 40 years old when Moshe, the servant of Adonai, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought him back word as it was in my heart. Nevertheless, my fellows that went up with me made the heart of the people melt with fear, but I fully followed Adonai my God. So Moshe swore on that day, saying, Surely the land on which your foot has trodden will be an inheritance to you and to your children forever, because you have fully followed Adonai my God. So now behold, Adonai has kept me alive, just as he said, these 45 years since the time that Adonai spoke this word to Moshe while Israel was journeying in the wilderness. And now behold, I am 85 years old today. I am still as strong today as I was in the day that Moshe sent me. As my strength was then, so is my strength now, for war and for going out and coming in. Now therefore give me this hill country about which Adonai spoke on that day. For you heard on that day how the Anakim were there, as well as great fortified cities. Perhaps Adonai will be with me, and I will drive them out, just as Adonai has spoken. So Joshua blessed him, and he assigned Hebron to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his portion. Therefore Hebron became the inheritance of Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, to this day, because he followed Adonai, the God of Israel, fully. Now the name of Hebron formerly was Kiriath Arba, for Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim. Then the land had rest from war. Chapter 15. Now the allotment for the tribe of the children of Judah, according to their families, was as far as the border of Edom southward to the wilderness of Zin at the extreme south. Their southern border, was from the lower end of the Salt Sea, from the bay projecting southward. Then it proceeded south of the ascent of Akrabim and passed on to Zin, and then went up by the south of Kadesh Barnea and passed on to Hezron, and went up to Adar and turned to Karka, and passed along the Asmon and went on the Wadi of Egypt, where the border ended at the sea. This will be your southern border. The eastern border is the Salt Sea to the end of the Jordan. The border on the southern side was from the bay of the sea at the end of Jordan. It then went up to Beth Hoglah and passed north of Beth Arabah and went up to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. The border then went up to David from the valley of Achor and turned northward toward Gilgal, facing the ascent of Adumim, which is south of the Wadi. Next, the border passed along to the waters of En Shemesh and ended at En Roged. Then the border went up the valley of Ben Hinnom to the southern flank of the Jebusites, that is Jerusalem, and went up to the top of the mountain that flanks the Hinnom valley to the west, which is at the northern end of the Rephaim valley. From the top of the mountain, the border curved to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah, and went out to the towns of Mount Ephron, and then curved to Baalah, that is Kiriath Jearim. From Baalah, the border turned westward to Mount Seir, passed along the northern slope of Mount Jearim, that is Chesalon, and went down to Beth Shemesh, then past Timnah. Next, the border went out to the slope north of Ekron, then went out to Shikeron, passed along the Mount Baalah, went on to Jabneel, and the border ended at the sea. The western border was the Great Sea and its coastline. These were the borders around the children of Judah according to their clans. Now to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, he gave a portion among the children of Judah at the command of Adonai to Joshua, Kiriath Arba, which is Hebron. Arba was the father of Anak. So Caleb drove out from there the three sons of Anak, Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, children of Anak. And then he went up from there against the inhabitants of David. Now the name of David formerly was Kiriath Sefer. Caleb said, I will give my daughter Achsah as a wife to the one who attacks Kiriath Sefer and captures it. So Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's kinsman, captured it. So he gave him his daughter Achsah as a wife. Now it came about when she came to him that she persuaded Othniel to ask her father for a field. Then when she got off her donkey, Caleb asked her, "What do you need?" "Give me a blessing," she said, "for you have given me land in the Negev. You should also give me a spring of water." So he gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. This is the portion of the tribe of the children of Judah by their clans. The towns at the end of the tribe of the children of Judah toward the border of Edom in the south were Kavzeel, Eder, Jagur, Kina, Dimona, Adada, Kedesh, Hazor, Ithnan, Ziph, Telem, Bealoth, Hazor, Hadatta, Kerioth Hezron, that is Hazor, Amam, Shema, Molada, Hazar Gada, Heshmon, Bethpelet, Hazar Shual, Beersheba, Beziothia, Baalach, Lim, Ezem, El Tolad, Chesil, Horma, Ziklag, Madmana, Sansana, Lebaoth, Shilhim, Ain, and Rimmon, a total of 29 towns with their villages. In the lowland, Eshtaol, Zorah, Ashna, Zanoach, En Ganim, Tapua, Enam, Jarmuth, Adulam, Soko, Azekah, Sha'araim, Adithaim, Gedera, and Gederothaim, 14 towns with their villages. Zenan, Hadashah, Migdalgad, Dilan, Mispe, Joktil, Lachish, Boskath, Eglon, Kabon, Lachmas, Chithlish, Gederoth, Beth Dagon, Naamah, and Makkedah, 16 towns with their villages. Libna, Ether, Ashan, Ibta, Eshna, Nezib, Keilah, Achzib, and Maresha, 9 towns with their villages. Ekron with its towns and villages. From Ekron to the sea, all that there were under Ashdod's hand with their villages. Ashdod, its dependencies and its villages. Gaza, its dependencies and its villages, all the way to the Wadi of Egypt and the coastline of the Great Sea. In the hill country, Shamir, Jatir, Soko, Dana, Kiriath Sana, that is David, Anab, Eshtemo, Anim, Goshen, Holon, and Gilo, 11 towns with their villages. Arab, Ruma, Ashan, Janum, Beth Tapua, Afeka, Humta, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, and Zior, 9 towns with their villages. Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Juttah, Jezreel, Jokdeam, Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 towns with their villages. Halhul, Beth Zur, Yedor, Ma'arath, Beth Anoth, and Eltekon, 6 towns with their villages. Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 towns with their villages. In the wilderness, Beth Arabah, Mitin, Sekakach, Nibshan, the city of salt, and Gedi, 6 towns with their villages. And as for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out. So the Jebusites continue to live among the children of Judah in Jerusalem to this day.